Hello, Pep. Good afternoon. Hope you're well. It's been 7 days, or will be 7 days, for match to match, and I think that's the longest gap that you will have had between games in this calendar year so far, which says how often you've played, I think, as much as anything. So what benefits are there of that? What have you been able to do maybe with that extra time that perhaps you wouldn't have done?
If we win, it will be benefit. If don't, it will not be good. So, yeah, you have more time to rest, to training more. Yeah, fine.
And have you had time for extra meetings and things like that? Or?
Less meetings than ever. Just training. You do meetings when you cannot train. When you train, it's not necessary to do meetings.
That's probably nice for the lads, is it, to be out on the pitch and training?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nottingham Forest doing especially well at the moment, third in the table despite not having won in their last 3 games as well. I'm just wondering your thoughts on Nuno and his team and his staff and the work that they've done to have put them in this position.
Very simple. When you are third in the table after 8-10 fixtures, okay. But when you happen with 11 games left, still you are third, is because you have done really, really, really well. Otherwise, you cannot be there for many, many times, many months, doing a good things and being third in the table. So, impressive, I would say.
Is there anything particularly that you see that you've found impressive?
Many things do. Defend really well, really compact, aggressive, and the transitions are really good. The long balls with Woods, is they win 8-10. The four up front, they are really good. Create many things. Hodgson, Elanga, Gibbs White, exceptional player, Woods. So create many things for themselves. Good keeper, experienced defenders. So I'm an exceptional player, fullback, can play on both sides. So physical team in the middle, Anderson, top player as well. So yeah, that's why I'm third. Otherwise, cannot be there before play the last part of the season.
Hi, Pep. You mentioned on Saturday that you thought that Ake would probably have to have surgery, and he's had that. Do you know how long he's going to be out? Will he be back this season? What the issue?
10 weeks, 11 weeks, they said to me.
So that is pretty serious. I mean, that is a kind of thing that's happened to you all season.
When the surgery is pretty serious. When you go to the surgeries, because it's something wrong happened. So, but the important is done. He has struggled a lot this season with the problems in his feet, yeah, it happened.
There's been some more pictures of Jack Grealish this week, and do you kind of feel sorry for him in a way, because he's so recognisable, he seems to be someone who attracts attention. So maybe a picture is painted of him that might not be the reality, or is that just something that players have to deal with in this day and age?
He's so famous. People follow him, yeah. Nothing to comment.
Hi, Pep. How does the pressure feel at this stage of the season compared to in previous years when obviously you've been fighting for the title? Pressure
is always there. In the big clubs, the pressure is always there. You have to press yourself to do your best. It doesn't matter what you are playing for.
Does it feel different to previous years?
Yeah, you have a long week. The previous season in the States never had long weeks. So, yeah, it's a little bit different, but accept the reality. The reality is try to finish the top 4, and tomorrow have an opportunity to stay third in the table and climb and secure this target.
Pep, on that battle for Europe, I mean, obviously you've spoken there about Nottingham Forest and how well they've done. How big a threat are they to yourselves and the other teams competing to try and get into the Champions League next year?
Yeah, there are many clubs, many teams, many clubs fighting for this target. Everyone want to be in the Champions League next season. For the club, for the prestigious, for the sustainability, economically, so for many reasons.
on the financial side, I mean, we've spoken about what it would mean for you here, obviously, and the importance to the club of getting in the Champions League. But for other teams too, it feels like it's the one thing that can be the gateway to other teams getting that extra revenue, which means they can then improve their squad to challenge at the top. How necessary is it to be in the Champions League, to be challenging at the top?
So it will not be the end of the world. So we want to qualify for the Champions League, but if it doesn't happen, it's because we are not being good enough and the other teams deserve it. So in knockout stage, in the Champions League, in the FA Cup, I would say the uncertainty part of this particular game always is involved, can be decisive. But in the Premier League, in 38 fixtures, it's fair enough. The results finish. So we are in the position that is not the ideal, but is not bad enough, and is in our hands, and we're going to fight for that.
And can I just finish by asking you about the new players that you signed? Because you spoke about them after the game. You thanked the board, I think, after the Plymouth game for them arriving and joining your squad in mid-season. Obviously, with Nathan being out, the likes of Manu and John being out, and the fact you've been able to sign those reinforcements, I just wondered how, now they've been here 6 weeks or so, how they're integrating into the squad, particularly the defenders, and also your systems. I mean, what are you seeing from them now that perhaps you weren't seeing 6 weeks ago? How are they developing? How are they working with your group?
Okay, the impact on Kusanov was really, really good since, I want to say for the first minute that happened against Chelsea, but since then it was really, really good. And Victor played really good as well against Plymouth. And yeah, now some central defender from the academy is coming to training with us, because with the absence for the 3 central defenders almost until the end of the season, maybe in the World Cup we'll be ready, but maybe in the last 1 or 2 games. But when we're talking about 8-10 weeks, so it's a lot of time. So yeah, we are lucky that the club took the decision to bring someone instead to do it in summer right now, otherwise we'll be in trouble.